Welcome into the IDP Plus Bets Studio. I am here with you. I am Billy Mansell at Ombre Vendor. We are at the official week one start of the college football season, and I could not be more ecstatic to be here with you today. So if you've been following along after week 0/week one, not really sure what we're going to call that or what they even called it because they even said week one. But we went 3 for 4. 3 for 3 to start out the day. Every bet that I felt like 100% is going to hit. The only one that didn't hit was our long shot bet, plus 500. Jalen Knighton to score the first touchdown in that SMU game. It was a hot-ass mess, and Jalen Knighton barely even touched the ball most of the second half, and I didn't really realize that he was kind of not going to be one of the starters. That is kind of a surprise. He had a major role last season. I thought they were going to keep it going this season, and they did not. So, unfortunately, that one didn't hit. Putting Jalen Knighton on the do not bet list. You will not hear his name again on this podcast. I can trust you that. Won't do that every week, but that one I'm pretty positive. I'm comfortable saying that's not going to happen again. But we went 3 for 3 last week. Very pumped. Exactly what I said on this podcast was going to happen is what happened. Florida State came out. They did not look ready to play that football game in Ireland. It was wet. It was raining. It was an entire mess. DJU did not look prepared to play that football game. The coaches clearly did not trust him. And the run game for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets kind of just took over. And that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Jamal Haynes had himself a day. I realized I gave you 70 plus. Thank the Lord I didn't give you 79 because it was only 75. But I gave you 70 plus for a reason. He was a lot more in that like 70 to 76 range than he was getting all the way up to 80, which they gave out. He had a few runs that were like behind the line. I think he lost like 8 or 9 yards during that game. So he would have hit had it not been for those runs. It was kind of just luck of the draw. But if you went with me in the 70 plus, you cashed the paper. And if you put those in the same game parlay, like I suggested, plus 112, you hit that as well. You were riding out the rest of your Saturday, very excited about putting some money in the bank. So we are back for a full slate of college football. I'm just going to say it now. I'm recording this on a Thursday, so I will not include any Thursday games in this. So you are not missing any bets. You're not, if you're listening to this on a Friday, you haven't missed anything. I am only doing Saturday bets, so no worries. I know there's like 30 games on tonight. It's crazy. I love the Colorado play. If you are listening to this late Thursday and haven't put a bet in yet, Travis Hunter over yards. I mean, please take whatever that is because he is going to carve it up tonight. But let's get on to what we're doing for today. If you're listening to this on Friday or Saturday morning, let's put some bets in. So first bet that I'm going to give out is Penn State minus 8.5 or minus 8. Sorry, minus 8 for the podcast audience. That is minus 110 on DraftKings. Listen, this is kind of just a solid play. They returned almost their entire offense. Drew Allar, both of the running backs, Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. They also added in Julian Fleming, who is a wide receiver coming over from Ohio State. So I kind of really like the offense, and they didn't really lose anything. So they did lose the no lineman, Olu Fashanu, who was in the draft, and they lost one piece on defense. But I like their defense, too. They have very, very good quality linebackers, which if you're West Virginia, the only way you're going to beat Penn State is for it to be a run-heavy game, and you control the clock as much as Penn State's controlling the clock. I just think Penn State's got way better talent. Penn State's got way better defense that's going to keep these running backs that they have in check and C.J. Donaldson over in West Virginia. But I just believe in the process here. Penn State beat this team last season, same game, given that one was at home, by 23 points. I think this is at least a double-digit game. If not, it's going to be a two-touchdown game in Penn State's favor. And I just don't see this being as close as people might be thinking. I know there's a lot of money on West Virginia. Well, not a lot of money, but there's a little bit of money coming in on West Virginia for people playing the Penn State's going to choke card. But they don't choke against games like this. They choke against like Ohio State, Michigan, the good teams in the conference that they're supposed to beat year in and year out, but they never do. James Franklin is not going to lose this game against West Virginia, and he's going to win by double digits. put that one in the bank. Penn State -8, -110 on DraftKings. I think that is an utter lock. I have no doubt in my mind. I have a bunch of money on that one for my bankroll this week. So one I very, 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 very feel confident in. I wouldn't really play any of the props in that game. All of them kind of scare me. If you're going to play one, I would do some like small touchdown bets anytime because I think Nick Singleton and Katron Allar are going to score. The problem is you don't know which one is going to score. They were really flip-floppy last season. Sometimes they scored in the same game, but sometimes it was, one would score, the other wouldn't. One would score, the other didn't. And then Drew Allar is a total – I cannot figure him out. So I'm a big draft head, and there's a lot of people that are coming out and saying Drew Allar is a lock for the first round of the NFL draft next season. And I just don't see it. Personally, I don't. He is a total wild card, and you can't trust him. And I know that what he's built like. I see what he looks like, and I get it from that aspect. But watching him throw, it doesn't fully make sense to me yet. So without seeing it first, I'm not totally a believer in Drew Allar. But this team is built really well. Their defense has a couple of first rounders on it. Abdul Carter is a very good linebacker. So I do think Penn State as a team, really, really good team. The props I would stay away from. But I definitely trust Penn State to win this game and to win it by -8. So that's the first bet. On to bet number 2, we'll get into our player prop, and that is Damian Martinez from the Miami Hurricanes to go for 72 plus yards. That is the actual line. That's -120 on DraftKings right now. Listen, this is pretty simple. Damian Martinez is new to this team. That I will give you. But last year he had 1,100 yards while sharing the backfield with new Buccaneers running back Bucky Irving. So you have Bucky Irving, who is a sleeper of all sleepers in the fantasy circles right now, was sharing the backfield with Damian Martinez. Damian Martinez was able to get to 1,100 yards. He hit 72 plus in 10 out of 12 games last season for the Oregon State Beavers. Now, I'm here to tell you this Miami team is better than that. Now, there are a couple of players that might also spell some of this workload, but I don't think you bring in a marquee player like Damian Martinez if you're not running him into the ground this season to try to get your team in better spot. Now, I could totally understand why somebody might be like, well, it's a new running back on a new team. I do think Miami is built quite a bit better to be able to run than Oregon State even was last season. And Oregon State was kind of a mess last season. It was not great. And he was able to do what he did last season, 10 out of 12, like I said, and sharing the backfield with a NFL running back currently that a lot of people had faith in. So this right here, honestly, I'm not even going to lie to any of you out there. I totally would understand if you wanted to go plus money and take him at 80 plus. That hit in almost as many times. I think it was 9 out of 10. I think there was only one game where he had like 76 or something. But the rest of them, he was over 100, over 90. Like all of those, I would definitely say are in play. Week ones are funky. I'm just going to say it. Week ones are funky because you don't really have much data with the new, the new team to go off of. So I'm just going to play it safe. 72 plus is the play, -120. Absolute lock. I do not have any fear in my mind. I also, if you want to tease it up to 80 plus money, I totally understand that, and I don't begrudge you at all. That is a total good move. Damian Martinez is a great running back, and I think that he's going to have his way with this Florida team who is still trying to find themselves. So put that one down. Damian Martinez, 72 plus. All right. That's the first 2 bets. Those are the ones I feel rock solid in, and I think that you're gonna be in very good hands and make you a lot of money. I have a lot of money in those. So let's move on to my long shot parlay of the week, plus 700 odds. So just get ready, buckle in. Let me explain. So the first bet on the list is Iowa versus Illinois State under 41. If you were a college football bettor, and if you're new to college football betting, the Iowa under is the ultimate bet. It hit every week last season, including the bowl game, And we're going to start right back off thinking and knowing based on the team they have right now, they don't believe in their offense at all. It's all defense, that they're not going to hit over 41 points. Sorry, that is a massive number for this Iowa team. I see it more in the 25, like 24 to 26 range. So Illinois State, I don't think is going to score at all. And then Iowa, I don't think is going to be able to score more than maybe 3 touchdowns. And one of those will probably be a defensive score. I'll come out at that and say it. So that's leg 1. Leg number 2 is Miami of Florida over Florida by -2.5. I believe they can cover the spread. I think Miami is being very disrespected at the beginning of the season. Now, I understand if you go back to last week, I said that if once a team has a completely new team, it's going to take them a minute to warm up. I get it. I understand that that was the process for Florida State, but Miami has Cam Ward. They have Damian Martinez, as I mentioned earlier. They got Xavier Restrepo, and a couple other really good players on that team. I think this Miami team is poised to win this game by at least a touchdown. And I think they're going to walk into Florida and come away with a win. Florida has not really had anything good going their way the last couple of years, and I know a lot of people believe in Billy Napier, but I currently don't. So I think that while the money is telling you that this is going to be a close game, I believe it's going to be quite a bit different than that. So let's move on to the plus money part of this parlay, and that is Notre Dame over Texas A&M, plus 124 added to it to make it that plus 709 on DraftKings. Notre Dame is ranked number 7 in the country, going against Texas A&M, that's number 20 in the country. It's at Texas A&M. I know that the Texas A&M fans will believe in the 12th man and all that nonsense, but the problem is Notre Dame is just a better team than Texas A&M. I believe more in the Notre Dame process than I do in the Texas A&M team. I don't understand the love for Texas A&M right now. I think that is a total sell job, if I can be completely honest with you. Look, Notre Dame's not favored, so they're not going into this with a big head. They definitely should be going into this thinking that this is ours to lose. I'll just say it. Don't put a big amount of money on this. It is a long shot parlay for a reason. It is meant to sprinkle a little bit and just be happy when it hits. But let me just read that off again for bet number 3. Under 41 in the Iowa-Illinois State game. Miami -2.5 and Notre Dame money line in that last game. That will round you up to plus 709. I feel confident in all of those individually, so I'm just putting them all together, packaging them in a parlay, and just giving them to you on a silver platter. I really would like to cash the long shot this week because I believe each of these things is going to happen. So no worry at all there. Okay, before we get out of here, I do want to go over one little thing that I saw kind of going around on social media after the first week, and I'm kind of testing a theory, if you will. I am not giving this out as a play. I am not calling this bet number 4. It is not. I just want to show you what I'm doing because I believe that you all should see what I'm thinking at the same time as it's happening. So last week when Florida State played Georgia Tech, there were 14, if I can do it in my hands, 14 total possessions in that football game. And not each of one of those came away with a score. And it made the bet or the under pretty easy to bet. All of the other football games last week were also really, really quick. There's a new rule with the clocks where they have to run, and there is no stoppages other than that 2-minute warning in timeouts, obviously. So I'm going to bet a weird parlay on the unders in 4 different college football games. And I'm just giving it out to see what happens. You can follow along and see if there is some legs to this. I put a little bit, not very much. I think I only put like $5 on it, but I bet on this just to see what happens. So here it is. It's Western Kentucky to not lose by 32 to Alabama. It's Furman to not lose by 42 to Ole Miss. North Alabama plus 37.5 against Memphis, and Alabama A&M plus 48 against Auburn. Now, these are all minus 110. My theory is that there's not enough time in these college football games to win them by the score that you need to win by to win these football games, like to get the amount to cover the spread. I don't think there's going to be enough time in the Alabama A&M Auburn game to win by 48 points. Now, you could say, well, I mean, Billy, they're clearly going to score 52 points. Well, if Alabama A&M gets one touchdown, that's covered, and you didn't get the bet. I don't think they have enough time. If you only have 7 drives to 8 drives in a football game, that gives you a chance, if you're scoring 7 each time, to get 56 points. That literally is what happened in the Georgia Tech versus Florida State game. So it's a theory I'm testing. Are these crazy big spreads possible? Because I don't think they are. And I don't think the college football and the betting public, like not betting public, but the books, I don't think they're taking into account how fast these games are going and how few possessions you get. Because if you only get, let's even say it's 9 possessions, you're not going to get that many chances to score. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But like, if you get 9 possessions, that's 63 points. The other team has to score enough to where you're not going to be able to get it. I don't know. Theories on the screen. Podcast audience, it's plus 1,200. But we're just going to test it out and see what happens. If it has some legs, maybe I'll bring one of these bets into the actual bet possibilities next week. But this is a total like theory bet. It is not something that I want anybody to put a large amount of money on, because I don't know if I believe in it yet. I just saw some information. I read some information about how fast the college football games, how few possessions were given. And I'm interested to see if it has something more to it. So I'm going to put that one in. But let's just recap the bets that we have real quick, just so we can get out of here. Penn State, -8. That's -110. Damian Martinez, plus 72. Or plus 72 yards. So he has to have more than 72 yards, -120. And then a parlay of Iowa under, Miami -2.5, and Notre Dame money line plus 700. I will be very, very happy on social media if that one hits. But the other two, I think, are complete locks, and I can't wait to make some money with y'all. So that being said, please watch college football this weekend. It's a lot of fun. I love it. Cannot wait to get into it more this season, and I can't wait to keep making some money for it. So with all that being said, my name is Billy Mansell, and peace out.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.